What is going on? What is going on? Toilets to Titles family, the Title Tribe. How is everybody doing this evening? It is your boy Showtime George. As you can see, they gave me the keys to the castle. I am solo this evening. They said that I was so good at what I do that they decided to give me my own show here Monday evening, doing the mock draft lavatory. And boy, do we have something special planned this evening. I'll get into that in just a minute. But what we have is it's an industry draft. It's some of the best and the brightest in the industry. We're all sitting down doing a 5-round rookie mock draft. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see where these guys who, listen, I want to say they're smarter than me, but I mean, I think I'm smarter than them. I might be, I might not be. We'll find out. But we're going to sit down. It's a complete industry draft. We got 12 people from all over the place sitting down doing this mock draft. Super, super excited to be doing it this evening. But before we get into that, and I tell you exactly who we're going to be mock drafting with, let me do some of the housekeeping, as Coach likes to say. Toilets to Titles is doing our mock draft challenge. I'm doing a mock draft. We're doing a mock draft challenge. Just goes hand in hand. It is now live. The entry for this is free. It's 100% free 99. So I don't know why you're not in it. All you got to do is go to Toilets to Titles on Twitter. Click on the Google link for the entry details. We will be putting $20 in the pot for every 10 entries, and we're capping the pot at $500. The winner takes all. The only thing you have to do, get the most right in the first round Thursday night of the NFL draft. That's all you have to do. If you get the most right, bam, you get all the money. It's that simple. It's free 99. Go ahead and get into it. Go ahead, while you're there, go to toiletstotitles.com. Check out the website. Look at our new rankings that we've just put out. Coach and Joe and D now, they've been just crushing with their rankings. I believe they've got their top 100 out right now. So go check that stuff out. We're going to be starting this draft here in about 3 minutes. I need to let these guys know that in 3 minutes, we will be going live. There we go. Now that they all know that, giving them a 3-minute warning. So this mock draft, this is an impressive mock draft. I'm not going to lie. Here's who we have in this mock draft. We have Jeff Bell, who is at For Whom the J Bell Tolls on Twitter. He is from the Football Guys. He also is almost a regular at the Audible, and he does the Devi Royale. He's also a Bills fan. I don't hold that against him. We all have our flaws. We have John Hesterman, and he is at John_Hesterman. He does DSF for Fantasy Pros, and he does Dynasty for DLF Football. We have Troy King. He's a NFL/fantasy football creator at the Football Guys. He also is at Destination Devi. We have Nick Scripp, CEO of Play to Win Fantasy, or P2Win Fantasy. That is his Twitter handle is at P2Win Fantasy. He also does Underdog Fantasy and content at Stick on the Script podcast. We have Felix Sharp, who is at Sharp Review. That is a good friend of mine from Campus to Canton. He also does work for Bet Network. We have Dennis Bennett. He is at Culture_Coach. He's the managing editor at DynastyNerds.com. Excuse me. We have Kevin, who is at The Boys 22 from at Football Guys and at Devi Royale. We have Shane P. Hallam. He's the managing partner at Draft Countdown, and he also does co-host at Devi Marketplace Podcast and DLF Football. We have Laquan Jones, who's a research editor and fantasy analyst at the NFL Network and at NFL Fantasy. He's also a writer for Downtown Rams. We have Cody Carpentier, who is at Carpentier NFL. He's the director of football and NFL draft analysis at playerprofiler.com. And last but certainly not least, we have Sam Wagman, who is Swagman95. He's the content editor for at the Game Day NFL and Football Guys. So, like I said, it is a big draft with a bunch of experts. We are getting ready to kick this thing off. Let's go. So I let them know that we are going to be starting, and bam, the draft is officially started. Let me go ahead and pull up the draft board so you can look at the draft board. So that is the draft board right there. As you can see, play to win fantasy. That's Nick's grip. He has the first pick. I'm kind of hoping that he jumps on here and takes his first pick. the chat is already joking that they want him to auto pick Bishop Sankey. I have a feeling even if he does auto pick, he will be getting Bijan Robinson, and that's who he got. It is a one quarterback league, so there was no question on who was going to be first. Even in most Superflex league, I see Bijan Robinson going at the 101. Going at number 2 was John Hesterman. He took Jackson Smith and Jigba. Many believe to be the top wide receiver in this draft. I am not one who is going to say that he isn't, because I also believe that he is. So far in the first round, the first 2 picks, Bijan Robinson followed by Jackson Smith and Jigba. Honestly, there's no real surprises there for me. I didn't think Jamar Gibbs would go second. I think Jamar Gibbs will probably be here for Felix, who is at Sharp Review. I think even if he auto drafts, I think that was who he will end up with. That is the next one in the queue anyway. So what I'm really looking forward to is seeing who takes the first quarterback, because in a one quarterback league, the quarterbacks are kind of devalued. So I'm interested to see who is going to be taking the quarterback first. I might do it at my pick at 1-6, but we will find out. So going back to Felix's pick at Sharp Review, he did end up auto drafting. He will never hear the end of that from me. And he did get Jahmyr Gibbs. That really shouldn't have been much of a surprise. And then T King Mode, who is Troy King, he ended up with Jordan Addison. And now Sam Wagman is on the clock at pick number 5. He took Zay Flowers. So now I am on the clock, and now I am kind of torn. There's 2 guys I really like, or I could take the first quarterback and get the best quarterback off the board. It's Quentin Johnson, or it's going to be Zach Charbonnet. Without knowing the landing spots, I'm tending to fade the running back here, even though it's probably the pick I should make. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to fade the running back. I'm actually going to take Zach Charbonnet here. It is a one quarterback league. I still am of the mindset that running backs are king, even in a one quarterback league. So I went ahead and took Zach Charbonnet. After me is Dennis at Culture Coach. He kind of surprised me. He went with Tank Bigsby. I honestly thought he might go Quentin Johnson or one of the tight ends, or possibly a quarterback. Who knows? But he ended up going with Tank Bigsby. Again, it's a running back, right? Running backs are king. They kind of rule the roost here when it comes to single quarterback leagues. While we're waiting on Laquan Jones, Real Deal Fantasy, to make his pick, or auto draft, it looks like, because I don't see his little green light on here. Aaron Rodgers finally traded to the Jets. Interesting. I think the Jets lost that trade, just being the fact that they had to give up a future first. I'm going to say it's a future first. I expect Aaron Rodgers to do at least 65% of the snaps next year for the Jets. I don't know how great they'll be, but I expect him to get the snaps. So take that for what it's worth. It's just, I just don't see Aaron Rodgers not playing 65% of the snaps. I just don't feel like that is not going to happen. So Let's go ahead and do a quick recap of the first round. First round at 101, Nick Script, Play to Win Fantasy, took Bijan Robinson. John Hesterman is Flex Appeal. He took Jackson Smith and Jigba. Felix Sharp, who is Sharp Review, he auto-drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. Troy King, who is T King Mode, and I love his little emoji on here. Anybody who knows Troy knows about Thirsty Thursday. He took Jordan Addison. Sam Wagman, who is, on here he's Sam Wagman. He took Zay Flowers at pick 105. I went ahead with Zach Charbonnet at 106. Dennis, who is Culture Coach, he went ahead and took Tank Bigsby at 1-7, which is honestly kind of a surprise. I didn't expect to see Tank Bigsby to go where he did, but Dennis is a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. Laquan Jones, Real Deal Fantasy, he auto-drafted Quentin Johnson. Shane Hallam, who is another really smart guy, he took Devin Acne. I think that's how you pronounce that. I am horrible with names if you don't know. Du Bois, 222, which is Kevin. He took Anthony Richardson, so he took the first quarterback off the board. For whom the J Bell tolls, which is Jeff Bell, he took my guy Tajay Spears. I absolutely love Tajay. I probably would have had him go before both Akane and Bigsby, but I mean, what do I know? These guys are a lot smarter than me. Coming in last at pick number 112, Cody Carpentier, Carpentier NFL. He auto-drafted Bryce Young. So you got two quarterbacks in the first round. Still no tight ends, which I'm going to break that as soon as I pick if Sam doesn't take one. Coming back in the second round, Nick Script took Joshua Downs, wide receiver, at 2-1. I'm not even going to try to pronounce Abaknakia, I think his name is. I know who he is. He's a running back. He's a really talented running back. John Hesterman took him at 2-2. Again, auto draft for Felix. He got CJ Stroud at pick 3. Sean Tucker was taken by Troy King at 2-4. Mims, the wide receiver Mims, was taken at 2-5, and that leaves me on the clock at 2-6. Looking, I could go Zach Evans. I could go Roshan Johnson. There's a small part of me that just wants to get my Bay Evan Hall. I'm not going to though. I'm gonna go with Michael Mayer. I'm gonna take the first tight end in the draft. So I went with Michael Mayer. I do believe he's the best tight end in this draft for fantasy purposes. I absolutely love the guy. Getting him at 2-6 in a one quarterback league. I've seen him go around there in most super flex leagues, so I feel like I'm getting a good draft value on him. After me, followed up with Roshan Johnson by Dennis, Culture Coach, excuse me. Hyatt was auto-drafted wide receiver for Laquan Jones. Kendre Miller was taken by Shane Hallam. Again, I love Miller. He went at 2-9. Zach Evans went at 2-10 to Kevin. Second tight end off the board went to Jeff Bell. Dalton Kincaid and Keyshawn Boutte went 2-12 to Cody Carpentier. So that is the entire second round. Now we are going into the third, and we are just flying through this draft. Tillman was taken by Nick at 3-1. Vaughn was taken at 3-2 by John Hesterman. Chris Brown was taken at the 3-3 as an auto draft for Felix Sharp. And now we are sitting here waiting for Troy King, and Troy King kind of surprises me, actually. He went with Will Levis, quarterback. So through 3 rounds, you can tell it's a single quarterback draft. We've had 4 quarterbacks taken so far. 4 quarterbacks, 3 tight ends. So it's kind of going the way you would think most single quarterback drafts would go. Now we're waiting on Sam, and I'm kind of hoping Sam is not going to take my guy here. I will snatch at Evan Hall in the third at the 3-6 if he does not go. Sam kind of surprised me. He went with another wide receiver. He's loading up on wide receivers. This is a good wide receiver draft. I'm not going to bash this draft at all. It's deep at wide receiver. It's really deep at running back. Everybody knows how much I love Evan Hall. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that trigger now because I am absolutely not going to be surprised if he would not make it back to me. There's some drafts I see Evan Hall go in the back end of the second, beginning of the third. Getting him in the middle of the third, I feel is great value. Mingo was taken, the wide receiver, Jay Mingo, was taken by Dennis at the 3-7. Auto draft Darnell Washington for Laquan at the 3-8. And we had a kind of a mini tight end run going here. Luke Musgrave was taken by Shane Hallam. Sam Laporta was taken by Kevin. Rashi Rice was taken by Jeff Bell. And then Xavier Hutchinson was taken by Cody Carpentier. And that closes out round number 3. Starting at round number 4, coming in hot and heavy, we have the 5th and the 6th quarterbacks taken off the board, with Hendon Hooker by Nick and John Hesterman taking Jake Hayner. I got to see both. Well, I didn't get to see Hendon Hooker practice at the Senior Bowl, but I did run into him. I did get to shake his hand, talk to him for a few minutes. Didn't get the opportunity to sit down and do an interview with him, but got to talk to him for a little bit. You know, real smart guy. We got to do a sit-down interview with Jake Hayner while we were there. He was at one of the feature tables when we got to the Senior Bowl at the team breakfast and whatnot. So it's interesting to get to see these guys we got to talk to and meet and interview at the Senior Bowl, starting to become real things here in this mock draft. I am up on the clock. Let me go ahead and make my pick, and then I will do is I will continue to talk about some of these players and who was taking who. So I'm torn right now. I really like Nathaniel Dell. He looked fantastic at the Senior Bowl, as did Kenny McIntosh. I think I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go McIntosh here. It's a running back. He's from Georgia. He's a good running back. He looked good at the Senior Bowl. We actually got to sit down and interview him there as well. So let me go ahead and review round 4, at least as much as I can, because these guys are flying with these picks. There is no playing with these guys. You could tell they know their stuff. Started off with Hendon Hooker and then Jake Hayner, followed by Evans, was an auto draft for Felix. Troy King went with Ibrahim, the running back. McBride, the running back, for Sam. I went ahead. We talked about Kenny McIntosh. Wide receiver Palmer for Culture Colts. Kenneth Mitchell for Laquan. That was an auto draft. Shane Pelham took Jared's guy, Eric Gray, from OSU. Jared absolutely loves that kid. A.T. Perry went 4-10 to Kevin. Wide receiver Wilson went to Jeff Bell. Cody Carpentier, hey, look, he's actually here. He's not going to auto draft anymore. He's actually going to make his picks, which is awesome. So far, I would say that Nick Scripp and Shane Hallam are the two who are sniping the most people right now. The comments over here are just saying how much they hate them. And Nick has been awarded the sniper award by John Hesterman. Nick is picking 1, John Hesterman's picking 2. So it's nice to see that the smack talk is absolutely going on in here. To finish out the end of the 4th round, went with another tight end, Kraft, for Cody Carpentier. And that gets us into the 5th. Washington, wide receiver, went 1. Now they're starting to pick guys I have never heard of. This is why This is why I was hoping to get one of these guys on here, because now, see, these guys as sleepers is what this is. They're all taking their sleepers this late in the draft. I'm not sure who their sleepers are. It's a one quarterback league. I'm not going to mess around and play with these guys. I'm not going to take a quarterback in this draft. I thought about it. I was thinking maybe Stetson Bennett, Tanner McKee, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Nathaniel Dell. I liked him at the Senior Bowl. He looked good. He's going to probably fill in more as a slot wide receiver than anything. So let me see. As you can see, we got Kuntz was auto drafted by Felix. Ford Washington by Troy King. Sam Wegman took wide receiver Jarrett. I took Nathaniel Dell. Dennis took T. Scott. Laquan auto drafted Stetson Bennett. We talked about him. Shane Hallam took coach's boy Andre Lavasis. I think that's how it's pronounced. It's close. That is absolutely coach's boy. We gave him the award for the best hair at the Senior Bowl. Dude has the best hair in the NFL draft this year, to be honest. T-Dye went to Kevin at the 5'10". Chris Rodriguez, running back, went to Jeff Bell at 5'11". And D. Douglas wrapped up the NFL mock draft. He went to Cody Carpentier at 5'12". And folks, that consists and ends the draft. I want to thank everybody who came on and partook in this draft. It was an absolute blast. These guys are way smarter than me. I'm not even afraid to admit that, to be honest. These guys, there's a reason they are where they're at. There's a reason why I follow them. You should be following them as well. Let me check my. They're all talking in the Twitter chat right now. The smack talk is good. I wish I could share some of the smack talk with you guys, but I can't. We can't talk about what is going on behind the scenes there. Let's just say there's a lot of good smack talk going around. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this draft. Let me do this right here and see if it'll bring me back in. Hey, look, there I am. So I appreciate you guys tuning into the draft. It was a 5-round mock draft that we kicked off and finished in about 17 minutes. We had a few guys who said they could make it and they ended up not being able to make it. That's fine. We had a couple guys who had a couple auto drafts and then came in late because they were doing a show. That's fine. No big deal. I, again, want to thank everybody who volunteered to do this draft. I'm going to go ahead and give them their flowers one more time. Jeff Bell, Dennis Bennett, Shane Hallam, Laquan Jones, Cody Carpentier, Sam Wagman. Hold on. There's more than this. There's got to be more than this. Let me just do this. I want to give everybody their flowers here. So Nick Scripp, John Hesterman, Felix Sharp, Troy King, Sam Wagman, myself, Dennis Bennett, Laquan Jones, Shane Hallam. I just know him as Kevin. It's the boys 22 on Twitter. Jeff Bell and Cody Carpentier. Thank you guys so much for coming in and doing this mock draft. I appreciate your time. Let's get together and do another one real soon. With that, I do want to plug one more time the Toilets to Titles mock draft challenge. It is now live. Entry is free $99. So everybody should be able to afford it. If you'd like free money, this is your opportunity. All you have to do is click on the link at the Toilets to Titles Twitter page. It's their pinned tweet. All you got to do is click the link. Guess who is going to be drafted where in the first round. And whoever has the most entries wins the whole damn pot. It's that simple. We're going to cap the pot at $500. Right now, I believe the pot's at about 40. So let's get in before Thursday. With that said, again, want to thank everybody for tuning in. Want to thank everybody who participated in the mock draft. And we'll see you next time.